The San Francisco 49ers are going to kick ass and take names this season, and it all starts with head coach Kyle Shanahan.
Welcome, everyone. Good evening, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Hope everyone is having a fantastic Friday. It is Friday. We're a few days away from the game on Sunday when we take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, coming off a great win last Sunday. We have a great show tonight, and we have our co-host with me, Jess from, excuse me, I should have drank some water. East Coast Red and Gold podcast. How are you doing, Jess?
I'm doing well. It's Friday. How you doing?
I can't complain, girl. I cannot complain. It is Friday. I'm excited. A great game yesterday. Not so much for the Bengal fans, but it was a good game. Now we're getting into college football tomorrow, and then Sunday we take on Baker and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not only does he have to keep an eye out for Mr. Bosa, but oh crap, now you added Chase to the mix. Two Ohio State defensive ends against a Sooner. Oh man, it's going to get ugly and ugly quick. How was your week, Jess?
It was good. Very productive. How about you?
It was great, man. Busy to say the least, but it was great. I cannot complain. I made it go fast, but I had to do a lot of things around the house and get things situated before family started to come over for the holidays. As everybody already knows with me, I'm already started early on Christmas, but that's who I am. I didn't really grow up too much as a kid with Christmas at hand for a lot of reasons. And so now that I'm older and that I'm able to do it myself, for my grandkids, and my kids come over with the grandkids, just make it really, really enjoyable. Ain't nothing about having family over, so I'm excited about that. Are you ready for Thanksgiving? I believe it's what, a week and a half from now, or next week?
Yeah, it's next Thursday.
Oh crap! Sooner than I thought.
It came around fast.
Where's January? If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't January like 2 days ago?
Yeah, well, usually January is very long, but...
My goodness, it's like, where is time go? I remember, talking about, the Super Bowl win and, going into the new year, what the Niners' plans are. And here we are going into week 11. Against Tampa Bay. My goodness, does this season fly? So let me ask you, before I start saying hello to everyone in the chat, we're sitting at 6-3. We had lost 3 in a row, as we all know, but we had a great game and a great comeback after the bye. And we played the Jacksonville Jaguars, went into Jacksonville. By the way, they also had a bye. And they were rested, but both teams looked like they were heading in different directions. One was heading upward, and one was scaling downward. What do you think about our record so far going into Week 11?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you, those 3 losses definitely were not good. those were three winnable games. Maybe the Bengals game may have been a little tougher, but definitely the Vikings and the Browns game we should have had. But yeah, 6-3, we came out of the bye, we kicked some ass against the Jaguars, and now hopefully we're ready to roll against the Bucks.
Exactly. Those three games were tough, man. They were tough losing. But like I told a lot of people, Jess, what do you expect? People were disappointed we lost three games in a row, and rightfully so. We lost three games coming, from a season where we started strong 5-0, and then we lost our last three. But the fact is, I don't know about you, Jess, but I never thought we were going to go undefeated. Did you?
I didn't. I actually had us going 15-2. So I'm off by a loss, but that's okay.
I hear you. Welcome there, Ryan from No Border Sports. Welcome to the show.
What up,
Good to see
Ryan?
you. Why am I seeing a bunch of doubles on the
Yeah,
comments?
I'm seeing it too.
Are you? Okay, I'm tripping here.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're typing fast. I go, and then I look at myself. I have a bunch of stuff. I'm not even typing. Dina Harvey, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Hey, Dina.
Let's see here. Yeah, this is going to get very interesting tonight. With I gotta go. Wow. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys know ahead of time. For some weird reason, it's like if somebody makes a comment, it shows me like 15 of the same comments. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but it's pretty bad. Jess will contest to that. So I have to kind of maneuver through the comments. So if I don't address a point or I don't bring up a comment, please cut me some slack. It's not intentional. I did not lose love for you. It's just, if I can show you what I'm seeing, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack and you only got 10 seconds to do it. Good luck. Maverick in the house. What's up, Maverick? Good to see you, Maverick. Welcome. We got Polo Miguel. I hope I did not screw up your name. Welcome. If I did, my apologies. We got Tim Diaz in the house. What's up, Tim? He says, bang, bang, 9 again. Hell yeah. Welcome. And before we forget, go ahead and please do me a favor and make sure to wipe your feet. Whenever you get invited to somebody's home, it's always nice to wipe your feet before entering. So wipe your feet, smash that like button, and we would appreciate that very, very much. So, Jess, did you expect a 34-3 beatdown on the Jags after hearing how the Jags were on fire? They're the hottest team. They were on a 5-winning streak and blah, blah, blah. What was your take on it? I'm pretty sure you were confident on winning the game. Did you see a 34-3 route?
I did. There was no
All
way
right.
we were coming out of the bye and losing for
Talk
a
your
fourth
shit.
straight game.
Let's go.
So I definitely saw us kicking ass for sure.
I love it. Straight up. Let's go.
Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
Talking hell yeah, let's go. I love it when Jess is on fire. I did not expect that. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. I'm the kind of rah-rah guy that gets all fired up and excited, but I'll be honest, man. I was like, we had lost 3. We only had scored 17 points on each of those losses. We couldn't get past it. We were misfiring here, misfiring there. We were missing Debo. We were missing Big Trent, the silverback. Defensively, we were touching the quarterback, but not bringing him down. And there's so many things, the whole let's bring Steve Wilkes from the booth to the field and fly him down in the magic carpet and all the crap that was going on. I don't know what to expect. And then playing Jacksonville at home as good as they've been playing, I was impressed. I was very impressed by the defense. I was definitely impressed by the offense. I mean, we were swarming. I felt like it was 2022 all over again. even though the Cowboys game we gave a rout and we beat the Cowboys 42-10. But I got to believe, and I want to get your opinion, Jess, and everybody in the chat as well. I think that the beatdown of 34-3 on the Jags was more impressive than the Cowboys. What's your thought on that, Jess?
You know what? I thought both were impressive. Because the Cowboys are a decent team. And with Jacksonville, like you had said, they won 5 straight and, definitely talked about in the AFC. But yeah, I thought both wins were impressive.
Yeah, and I'm with you. The reason why I think that Jacksonville was a little bit more impressive to me is this, because when we played the Cowboys, we've been playing the Cowboys, and we played them pretty well, but the games were close on both of those games that we played the Cowboys in the playoffs, of course. And I understand that playoffs is a different world there, but the fact that we were winning a lot of games up to the Cowboy game, we were playing good football. Trent was out. Nobody was hurt. The fact that we were like on our A game and we kind of took care of business. Everybody expected the Niners to take care of business against the Cowboys. And I hate the Cowboys. I'm a huge Niner fan that it comes from the 80s and 90s, watching the Cowboys do their thing. So nothing made me feel better than watching the Cowboys get their ass whipped 42-10. But going into Jacksonville, Jess, we have lost 3 games in a row. We were misfiring in a lot of areas. We were questioning the position of the coordinator of where he should stand or sit. Like we were playing musical chairs. We were missing a big silverback and Debo. And we finally got them back. We don't know about Trent. We didn't know Trent was going to play. It was kind of like a game time decision, even though I believe somebody said that he was going to play on late Saturday night. We knew Debo was going to play, but I don't know how Debo was going to be coming back from injury. I don't know how well big Trent Williams was going to be able to do out there in the line. So, and I heard about the Jaguars defense. They were the highest ranked defense in takeaways. They were taking the ball away, and we just came off 3 games where we seen Brock Purdy give the ball away 5 times in 3 games. So I'm like, he's giving the ball away. The Jaguars are taking the ball away. That's not a good mixture for me. So I was kind of like, I don't know what to see, but man, what a difference does Debo make in this offense. I love Ayuk. I think Ayuk is a beautiful beast in his own, but you cannot tell me that Debo is not the guy, the injection, if you will, that it gets injected into this team coming out of the tunnel with the radio, him and Trent just getting everybody, the juices going, getting the vibes going, getting everybody on fire. I thought we were going to win the game just based on how they came out of the tunnel. How important is Debo to this offense, if anything else, just to bring the morale to the team?
Debo is important. I mean, he's important from coming out of the tunnel with the bump box to, playing in the game. And Trent Williams as well. I mean, when they're not in there, you could definitely see a difference. So it's good to have them both back. I mean, I know going into this week, the only person who's on the injury report is Aaron Banks with turf toe. Yep. So we're relatively healthy going into week 11, which is huge for us.
Yeah, it is. And Aaron Banks get better. I know turf toes, for anybody that has ever experienced a turf toe, it is not easy to come back from or heal up. He's young. If you guys don't remember, let me remind you that our greatest linebacker up to this point that has ever played 49er, Patrick Willis, in my opinion, retired because of turf toe. So that's how bad it can be. I'm not saying Aaron Banks is going to retire, blah, 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 but I'm just saying, we got to really monitor those very carefully. The fact that Feliciano took over and did a decent, above decent job at the left guard. But one thing I like what he said, he goes, I think I can handle my job, but my job becomes that much easier when I have Big Trent next to me. how much did Trent Williams mean to this team offensively being there, Jess?
He means a lot. I mean, and Feliciano also said that Trent's like a cheat code.
Yep.
But with Feliciano being in there, the offensive line didn't do too bad against the Jaguars, and he'll be in there again on Sunday. And, we may get Aaron Banks back for the Seattle game. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see if we get him back for that. Hold on. Okay. These AirPods have where you can take away all the noise, background noise away. I forgot what it's called, and I couldn't even hear myself talk. I got it.
Mine have them too.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I mean I can hear myself talk,
Yeah.
but very low, and I'm like, oh crap, I must have did that when I moved it right now. But anyway, I'm glad. Hey, if we can get him back for Thanksgiving, that's great. Now, I know this. I don't know how you're going to respond to this, 'cause I know you're a huge fan of Spencer Burford. You had him on your channel, great guy. But we're not talking about personalities. We're talking about production. Okay, let's keep it real. I know you like him, but you're a Niner fan first. Am I to assume that correctly?
Your assumption is correct.
Okay, great. So, with that said, if Aaron Banks comes back and they move Feliciano over to right guard and he outperforms Spencer, would you be okay by keeping him there?
I wouldn't mind it. At the end of the day, it's whoever's going to, be the best person to help our team win. The one thing that I don't like, though, is like switching back and forth. So if they actually start to switch from Feliciano to Burford, I don't like that at all. Stick with one and that's it,
See, I like that, Jess, because I know you're a huge fan of Spencer Burford. You had him on your show, like I said, but you put the team first. I agree 100% with the whole don't put him in, take him out, put it, because I don't think they do that too much with the offensive line, because we all know that you have to have the offensive line had to be playing together. That's the hardest position to bring in a player in and out. You can be in another running back, you bring a receiver, defensive ends, you can always rotate. If you notice it with defense, they just pin their ears back, go after the quarterback. It's easier to rotate defensive ends or defensive lines than it ever is offensive line. They need to work together. There's a word I'm looking for, but I can't think of it. Help me out here. They got to play. It's another word for playing together. What is it called, Jess?
Continuity.
That's the one. Thank you. I can't even pronounce it. So I'll go with what you said. They need to have that amongst each other. And so I'm with you. If it is Feliciano, then they should keep him there. Sometimes you need to be taken off the job to kind of put a net of fire in your ass, and you're like, oh, I am replaceable. And sometimes they come back and they play even better. So I still think Spencer Burford's a great talent. I think he's still raw. And this is his first year as a starter. So there's a lot of development there. But I'm excited. 34-3 against a Jaguar team that was hyped to beat the Niners. A lot of Jacksonville fans were fired up. They're like, they're 6-2. They can be 7-3. There were, the Jaguar fans, they were like, can we be that elite team? Can we be that playoff team? Can we make it to the Super Bowl? And they were excited. I mean, 5 games winning streak is not easy to do. It's hard to win in the NFL, and you win 5 in a row. That's amazing. But when you face real teams, I think to me, a good team for the Jaguars was the Niners, because they're a good roster, but not coming from a good games the last previous 3 weeks or 3 games. So to me, the Jaguars should have taken the opportunity to really showcase what they can do. The fact that they can only put up 3 points by the kicker and never hit the end zone, do you think they are the real deal, or do you think they're about a year or 2 away to make their push for the Super Bowl?
I think the Jaguars are kind of mediocre, kind of same way that I see the Bucks. The Niners, I think, and I could be biased, but I think the Niners are the best team in the NFL, easily. And the fact that they only put up 3 points against us, that just tells you right there who the better team is. You know, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of Jaguar fans were saying they were going to hand us our fourth loss, and they didn't.
No,
But
not even
yeah,
close.
it was good to see the blowout. And you know what? Like, looking ahead to this Sunday, I could see us doing the same to Tampa Bay.
I hear you. I love the way Dina says it. She puts it great. I was wrong. A lot of us were. I thought it was going to be a close game. Silly me. Silly a lot of us. Not just you. But we whipped that booty. It was impressive. I mean, I love the addition of Chase. It was it was a beautiful scene. I don't know about you, Jess, but I'm getting excited just bringing this up right now. To watch Bosa and Chase meet up at the quarterback at the same time, that, I don't know about you, but that my hairs just went up in my arms when I saw that. I'm like, could this be the future? And I know I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse and get it myself, but my goodness, that was fun. That was where it was a sack, and Bosa was able to get the ball away from Trevor Lawrence, which was beautiful. But the fact that Chase was able to do, now he didn't get there, he only got a point and a half a sack, but he was able to bring a lot of pressure where now offensive coordinators have to figure out, who do we chip? Who do we put 2 or 3 on? They can now just focus on Bosa, Jess. If they do, they're going to get murdered with Chase. And if you notice, Eric Armstead and Mr. High Kick himself with a sack, Hargrave, how they were upgraded just by an addition of speed and power of Chase Young to that offensive line. What impressed you the most, besides the 5 sacks from those front 4?
Well, the Buckeye bookends are definitely back where they started with doing that when they were at Ohio State, and Bebop with his comment, the pressure's finally getting there from both sides. We definitely have that. We finally have that one, Chase Young on the other side of Bosa, and a few times they even lightened up inside as well. So it was definitely nice to see, and that whole offensive line is really good, and they didn't give Trevor Lawrence enough of time in the pocket, which is good. So we definitely have to keep up on that and stick with our fundamentals.
Absolutely. I just want to welcome a few peeps that have come in. We got Daniel Burry Sports in the house. How you doing, sir? We got my boy Darwin Raven. We got a Raven fan in the house. Great win yesterday. Lamar is crazier than crazy running out there. You guys are by far a scary team. If there's a team I do not want to face, is the Baltimore Ravens. These guys are, man, they are putting it together. Great win for your team, my brother. Still looking forward for Christmas Day to see where we stand with the mighty Baltimore Ravens. But you know what they say, the higher you are, the bigger the fall. So we'll see. Joe says, poor Joe Burrow. Yeah. And I think this injury wasn't even caused by the Ravens. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if you have any clarity on that you can share, Jess. Did he hurt his hand in the plane? Did he hurt his hand before he got into the plane? Did you read anything, or do you have any idea how he hurt his hand? I've been busy. I haven't had a chance to be on Twitter.
I honestly have no idea. I heard them talking about it on the radio, and then I just went to Twitter to say, like, hey, what's going on? Because, I didn't really watch the game. What's up, Laura? I didn't really watch the game last night, but who knows? It sucks, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And I heard today that he's out for the year. He's out for the year, and so is the tight end for the Ravens. And that's kind of
Yep.
sucks for our, what's his name?
Mark Andrews.
Yeah, he's been ball. He's always ball. I think he's there's a top 3 tight ends in my opinion. I'm not even going to put him in order, but it's Kelsey, Kittle, and I forgot his name. I'm so bad with names.
Mark Andrews.
Thank you. Those 3, and just because I said Kelsey first, I'm not putting these guys in 1, 2, 3. But I think these are the top 3 tight ends in the NFL, in my opinion. So it's a big loss for the Ravens. So I don't want to.
Okay, I forgive you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Wow. Oh, that's right. Oh my God, I didn't even realize. I'm gonna pull a right now. I'm gonna pull a Fred Warner move. Okay, Fred Warner. I don't know if you guys are up to date or follow Fred Warner and his lovely wife. Congratulations to both of them. They're about to become parents. Wife is pregnant, first child for Fred Warner. So. And applause for that. But they have a wonderful show called The Warner House, and I like to watch it. But I'll be honest, I enjoy it more when Fred Warner has other teammates come on his show and talk about the Niners, and then I'll watch the rest as well. And he had Dre Greenlaw on the show. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you heard it, but he had him on the show, and they were talking. So they were answering questions from the fan base, and one of the questions was, who was Fred Warner's top 5 linebackers? And he named 5. Guess who he left out?
Dre Greenlaw.
Nope. No, he put him in there as number 5. But guess who he left out? Who's one of the best linebackers
What's
to
that?
ever play? Who's one of the best linebackers to ever play for the Niners?
Patrick Willis.
That's who he left out. And Greenlaw pinned his ass. And he goes, I cannot believe. This is Greenlaw. They're boys, you know that. I cannot believe you forgot about P. Willis. And Fred Warner just paused. Like, oh, crap. Because he mentioned Ray Lewis first, and then Bobby Wagner, and then I forgot who the other one were, but he left him out. So he retracted and said, let me do it again. And he goes, P. Willis, Ray Lewis, and went down the list. So I brought that up because of what I just did here. So I apologize. George Kittle, Andrew, and then Kelsey. So there you go. But if you guys haven't watched The Warner House, I would highly recommend it. Yes, they talk about other things, and I love that Fred Warner is very loving to his wife. I'm so glad. I'm going to be honest. I am so glad that Fred Warner does not play the way he acts on that podcast, because he's too lovey-dovey. Oh, babe. Yes, babe. Whatever, and I'm like, oh, crap, really? Now, I'm never telling that to his face, but I'm glad he plays different on the field than the way he talks. But I think it's cool. He talks to his wife. He loves his wife. And maybe more men should be that, starting with me. So that is awesome. But if you guys haven't watched it, I recommend you guys to check it out. Let's see some of the comments here. It says, I love that the chat's on fire, that they've been communicating back and forth. We got Brandon. Look at Brandon in the house. What's up, Brandon?
What up, Brandon?
He's now, me and Brandon, we have a show together with Dion and Ancho. We're probably going on live tomorrow. We don't have no set dates. We just go live whenever we can. So, it's always on my channel, on his channel. So always keep an eye on it for that. Let's see here. Let me catch us up on these comments before I get in trouble with Jess. Because Jess had control of this, and I'm trying to figure a way how to do that for her. These comments would have been up a long time ago. Don't ever put a man to do a woman's job. Not that it's your job. That came out wrong. But you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Okay, thanks. I got to be careful, man. I'm telling you. You say the wrong thing, and you know what I mean? You're like, what? What did Betos? Oh, my God. That's not how I meant it. But, yeah, she would do a better job, only because she's more attentive. Perfect example. me and my wife decided to go and get a burrito from this catering truck that we like to go to. We love the food there. She's in the car. It's cold. I get off. I order the burrito. I'm the first one there. There's no customers. A customer comes in after me. Another customer. My friend calls me, by the way, Nathaniel. We're talking on the phone. I'm sitting on the bench. 2 customers come in and leave. And my wife finally gets out of the car and starts chewing me out. Is our food ready? I go, I don't know. Because they said they'll call my name out. I seen that stack right there. I think that's our burritos. And I'm like, let me check. So I went up to the lady and I said, hey, do you have an order for Beto? And she was like, let me check. Oh, yeah, here it is. And it was like sitting there for 15 minutes, almost 20 minutes, because I was too busy talking. And my wife, can't you pay attention? So I bring that up because I don't pay attention. I get lost in conversation. This is why I think Jess would have been better with the comments. Because I can sit there and just...
You were too busy being a gossip girl.
You know what? You want to know what's funny? I've never talked to a man as much as I talked to this guy. This guy's one of my good friends now. We never met in person, but we met online, but we become friends. This is the gentleman that I always say that he's the male version of you, Jess, of when we had our conversations. But me and him can talk. I'm not lying. If it's under 3 hours, it's a record. I'm like, what do we talk about? My wife's like, she gets jealous. You talk more to him than you do to me. I mean, especially when we were dating. Yeah, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, sometimes 4. And this is not like once in a great while. I'm talking about every conversation. That's why we have to give each other a break for a couple of days. But we just start talking, man. It's funny. So when you say a bunch
one
of
Friday, you were on the phone with him for that long. You almost missed the show.
I knew that was coming. I forgot to use. I knew that was coming. Yeah, truth be told, guys, I was on the phone talking to my boy, talking football, talking a bunch of stuff, and Jess texted me all pissed off. I thought she was my second wife. She's like, hey, where are you, Bubba? I'm like, man, I am used to this, but I didn't expect it from Jess. We're doing our show, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean it. I'm like, oh, crap. I guess so. I like to just play around. I like to have a wife here, flesh and blood, and I have a media wife because I get yelled the same way. But I should be used to by that. But I'm always screwing up, so it's not neither my wife's or Jess's fault. It's just that I need to step it up. So that's my fault.
Yeah, but now you're on time, so it works out.
I try to be. So I want to ask you, so I'm trying to catch up with I'm going to put you in the spot a little bit now. No, I won't. But I'm trying to catch up with people in the comments and shoot back. So I'm going to ask you a question, try to keep it a little bit more winded, okay, than just 2 words and I comes right back to me.
I'm short and sweet, man.
But you don't give me a chance to go around.
Sweet and to the point.
I'm like, man, I could never ask you a question and go use the restrooms because then I'll come back and nobody will be talking. I'm like, Jess, you're not telling me I answer your question. I'm like, stop it. So offensively, in the game against the Jaguars, who impressed you and why? And you got to, at least for a minute.
You said offensively?
Yes.
I'm gonna say Brock Purdy.
Why?
And because just the way he tried to extend plays and the way he stood in the pocket and took some hits. I mean, the one hit that he took when he threw the ball to George Kittle for the touchdown, he was just really impressive. And the fact that he could just stay in there and not get happy feet and, he didn't turn the ball over. It was really good to see. That was 30 seconds.
We're working on, ladies and gentlemen. We're working on it. We'll get her to 60 seconds eventually. Maybe it might be the last show of the year, but we'll get her there. No, she's great. I'd rather have no one else on a Friday night than my girl, my sister. Same. How does it go? How do we say it? Same daddy, but different mama. And the Niners are what connects us together. I would rather have no one than you, Jess, even though you just respond one word at a time. And you know what's funny? I watch her show. She's very talkative on her show. I don't know, guys. You guys need to help me out
Really?
here. Yes, really. Should we get Jess to talk more on this show? Because I know you guys do not tune in to the Niners Now podcast just to hear this guy talk. Are you guys coming to hear the lovely? Wow.
I don't tune in just to hear
That's
you talk.
true.
No, I'm kidding.
Wow. I caught that in the midst of my ranting. Hey, so let me know in the comments right now. A or B? A, you want me to talk more? Or B, you would like to hear more from Jess? So A or B? A represents me talking more? Or B represents you want to see Jess talk more on this podcast
Why
other
do you
than me?
have to be A?
Now, we're going to confuse them. So I'm not changing it. I got
okay.
your point.
It's all right.
I was
I'm only
wrong.
busting you.
But I don't want to confuse that. Now they're going to be putting a bunch of F's for you know what for both of us. So let's go ahead.
Dawn
Let's go
said I'm
with
very shy on the show.
Who does? Oh my God.
Dawn said I'm very shy on this show.
I'm gonna. I hope some of you guys don't mind. I will skip some of your guys' questions. I did not realize how behind I am on your conversation. Welcome, real quick, Jason, my boy. Jason, welcome. I haven't had to hit my royalty button yet, but we got Laura in the house, so I hit a little bit of royalty. For those that don't know, I hit royalty for the ladies and the horn for the guys. Go figure. But they got to get the love. Definitely get the love.
So a lot are saying me, but Dina is telling you to leave me alone.
Thank you, Dina. I just got water all over me. God. I'm just making a point. I'm telling you, guys can never get a break, man. Well, hey, guys that are watching in chat, back me up here.
She said to leave me alone. That's who I am.
No, I know. Trust me, Dina. I'm afraid of Jess. Okay? She'll beat me up. This woman right there can handle her crap. So, and she's put me in my place before. Publicly, maybe not, but behind the scenes, oh yeah, she's put me in my place. So, trust me, if I say something that she doesn't like, she will not hold back. She might hold back here, and I wouldn't even push the envelope. But but after the show, oh yeah, I'll hear it. So, she's in good hands. Don't worry. I will never put her through more stuff that she needs to go through because I'm scared. Previous injuries, apparently, we got this throwing hand hit by clowning and fell on. Okay, we're talking since I'm behind. I'm assuming you're talking about what the injury to Burrow, how it
is.
Okay. And I keep forgetting Clowney is
I'll help you out with that.
Real quick, what's up with the number? What's up with the number the Clowney? What is like 28? I forgot what the number, but I never seen a defensive end with that number. It's weird.
Really?
Yeah, I see defensive end with a 0. I see defensive with a 1.
That is kind of weird.
But a 28 is like a running back, like corner. And you know the defensive end can do neither one of those. So what's up with the
number's 24
or 20? Yeah, that's even worse. 24.
Yeah.
So what's up with the 24 number? Darwin, if you can explain that to me, I would appreciate it. David McNiner in the house. Probably been here for 3 hours already, but as low as I'm getting, I'm just noticing it. He's already saying goodnight to everyone.
These double comments are wild.
They are, right? So I don't know if I'm really behind or I'm so pushed behind because, like I said tonight, for some reason on eCam, and I got to figure out why. Each time you guys put a message, it gives me like 3 of them of the same message. So imagine how it pushes everything down. I forgot about that. So
and
thank
now
you.
at the bottom of the chat, it's like every other one is the same.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's definitely something that eCam is going to have to. There's something that has to be worked out with eCam. It's never happened before.
No.
You got to love this guy. You got to love it. He's a Ravens fan. The fact that he said And yeah, Darwin, I'm talking about you. In no order, but it's got to be Ray Lewis first.
Ugh.
But you just said in no order. So if you wanted to make a point about in no order, you would put another person on there than your boy. Okay. So, but I hear you, bro. I probably would have did the same thing as a Niner. Always Patrick Willis. But you can't take nothing away from what Ray Lewis has done in his career, man. Amazing player. This is one thing about me. I love football. I'm not a big trash talker. I love players that play on teams that I might not like as in general, but I like players and what they do on the field. And Ray Lewis is definitely one of the best linebackers to ever play football, for sure. Talking about linebackers, Jess, give me 3 of your favorite linebackers that is not Fred Warner or Willis. Or let me rephrase it. 3 linebackers that are not ever played for the Niners.
So they never played for the Niners.
And if you don't remember their name, that's fine. You can just tell me what team and I'll probably tell you. I'm not saying you don't know their names, but
I don't have a favorite that's never played for the Niners.
so you're a homer. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I can't even answer that.
Get out of that one.
What? Yeah, but why would I say that my favorite linebackers don't play on the 49ers? That's dumb.
Really?
Yeah.
My favorite running back never played for the Niners.
Who's your favorite running back?
Barry Sanders from the Detroit Lions. One of my favorite all-time running backs never played for the Niners. He's 10 times. I'm not going to piss off Niner fans. Never mind. But he's one of my favorite all-time running backs. What's his name? Defensive end is Bruce Smith from the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
One of my favorite defensive ends ever played football. So like I said, I love football. I like all teams. I like players. I like the way they play on the field. Based on what they do on the field, I fall in love. Reggie White is another great defensive end that has ever played football. I have no problem, and this is me, liking other players. Now, there are many Niner players that I love too, like Ronnie Lott, greatest safety out there. But Otwater from the Denver Broncos is not that far behind. There's so many, running now. Roger Craig, and I hope I don't open up a can of worms here, but I don't think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And maybe not right away as people think he should.
Wait. Why not?
Based on his play. I mean, tell me what's so spectacular that he's done that you
Are you
were
just
like,
basing this on the fumble?
No, I don't. No, I forgave him for the fumble. I told you that story. Yeah. No, this is no direction because of a fumble. Seriously, that was back then. I'm over it. I mean, Jesus, how many years was that? If I can hold a grudge, that
apparently some people aren't because he's not in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think it's because of the fumble. And if it is, and then
why do you think he's not in the Hall of Fame?
I just don't. The numbers. What the number? Ricky Waters put better numbers that I believe than I think people fall in love with the name. I mean, he was the first guy to do the 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing. I like that, but I think a lot of us we're fans and we love players on our team, and everybody and their mama should be in the Hall of Fame if they played for the Niners. But that's not always true. At least not for me.
But there are players who actually played against him that think that he deserves to be in the Hall.
So you tell me, why do you think he deserves to be in the Hall from your perspective?
Well, you said it. The first 1,000-yard rushing, receiving running back in NFL history. That right there, that alone is, for me, get him in the Hall.
Okay. What else?
That's what I just told you. That right
Okay.
there, get him in the hall.
See, I'm trying to piss you off because I notice if I piss you off, I get you talking. And I saw that. I saw you 10 steps.
Not quite. Not
Not
quite.
yet. Not
I
yet.
was
I'm
still,
getting
I
there.
was still like 30 seconds.
Because I know if I know you enough, you'll get on the ball. I wouldn't be able to shut you up. And that's what I want. That's what I love about you.
I think
You're fire. I love your fire.
We were going back and forth for a while. I forget what topic we were on.
Yeah, and it was good. What's up, Maud? How you doing? My little niece, for those that don't know, my beautiful niece showed up. Maud Lopez, how you doing? Welcome to the show. But no, me and Jess, we're really cool. We talk, off the show. She's a great gal. She knows her football. And I got to know her pretty good, and I know what buttons to push. But she's very, very defensive when it comes to the 49ers, and I know that. But now, I said that about, I really meant what I said about Roger Craig, though. But I love him. And again, it's the high stepping and knocking people out with his high steps. I love him. I think he should make the Hall of Fame, but not in front of a lot of players that haven't been. I mean, there's people that played way before him for other teams that are not in the Hall of Fame yet. That's kind of and real quick, let me just be clear. I think the whole Hall of Fame system is crap. Let me get that clear. The whole who gets in and who doesn't is crap. I know there's a lot of bias in it, but that's life. There's biases in everything that we do, and it's not fair. I think that maybe Rogers will make it one day, but how many players out there that are not in the Hall of Fame yet that put way better numbers in whatever position they play than Roger Craig that are not in yet? And I understand we're like, well, he's not a Niner, so who cares? Well, maybe so. We're fans and we love our team. But if you love football first before your team, then you got to admit that there's a lot of players that should be in the Hall of Fame right now that are not. And that's a disgrace to those that vote people in. Like these young cats that go in. Why can't they give them a year or two when after, they're young, right? Do you think even if they deserve to go year one, give them a year or two to go in. Bring someone else that deserves to go in, that it's able to go up and talk. Why are you going to wait until they die and now a family member has to come up and talk for them? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I just think the system is, unfair. Like Steve Young was a Hall of Fame.
That I agree with.
First
that
year.
I agree with.
He deserves it. First, I'm not saying he does it, but Jerry Rice was gonna make it. You know that Steve Young and Joe Montana were gonna make it. Why not wait a year or two? I mean, the only way they're really, God forbid, they pass away is probably not health, unless you have a disease or something, or an accident. But other than that, you're gonna be there. But somebody that's 80 years old that played in the 70s, 60s, still sitting there, and can you imagine you pass away and then you get called? It's like, I don't know. I think they should allow the older people behind kind of go in. But I don't know the system they use but I think they should just because there's so many people that belong in the Hall of Fame that are not in there. And then you got a lot of these young cats that they're for sure Hall of Famers. They go in year one. Why can't they go year two or year three? They're going to get in, but so anyway, it is what it is.
I hear you. Your argument is valid. I hear you.
You know what I mean? For them. But I think Roger Craig deserves to go in at some point in there. But I know, like Patrick Willis, a lot of people are like, man, Patrick Willis should be already in the Hall of Fame. Should he? He's eventually going to get in there. But should he? I mean, he only played, 7 years? He was all pro for all 7 years. He put up a lot of stats, but he didn't play that many years. It took, who was it that finally went? Oh, the running back from the Broncos. What was his name, Jess? The one that played with John Elway. Terrell Davis. He's kind of a similar story to Patrick Willis. He retired early because of injury. He finally got in, and he retired early. So I know Patrick Willis will finally get in eventually, but why not let other people go first? That really, I don't know. What's your take on that? Do you think Patrick Willis should be in already, taking the bias of the fanship out, or what's your thoughts? Honestly,
I think so.
Okay.
And I'm saying this probably because, yes, he's a former 49er, but I definitely think so. But, his time will definitely come.
I mean, Niner said, B. I'm gonna pick Jess because she's better looking than Beto.
I love my boy McNiner. How you doing, sir? Look at all these B's, no A's. Wow. Okay, so the next show it will be starting Jess and Jess. She'll be. I'll just be like this. No. Hey, they love you. I can't blame them. They love you, Jess. They come. My show is only filled here because of you. I do other shows like 3 people watching. I do your show like 30, 40 people watching. You are the reason. What do you think I picked you to be on my show?
There you go.
So,
Eric picked you.
I know Eric, my boy Eric. I'm so behind. I love Eric. Eric's such a nice guy. Hey, look what we have here. We got Joe Garcia in the house. How you doing, brother? Sorry that it took about an hour to get to you, but I'm getting today's. For those that don't know that are just here, just would testify in my behalf that my display is all messed up. I don't know if you guys are seeing it yourselves, also, or if it's just because she's my guest on the show. But everything, there's a lot of duplicates, more than it should be in there.
Yeah,
so I'm trying to cipher.
It's just me and you. They're not seeing it.
Okay, so I'm trying to cipher through all this, and I don't want to pick the same one over. So like I can pick this one here, and then if I go up here, which is this one, same question. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. So please bear with me today.
It'll be Sunday by the time you get through all the comments.
Yeah, it'll be Sunday, exactly. So normally, now, I am always behind. There's no escaping that.
That's why I said that.
There's no escape. But today's even worse. Barry Sanders, my favorite of all time, non-Niners. There you go. And it's okay. It's okay. And if you don't have a favorite outside of the Niners, that's okay too. That's definitely okay. We all have our preferences, but there's a lot of players that I wish played for the Niners, but they're not, but they're still great at what they did. Daniel Cantu, welcome to the show, my friend. Welcome. Good to see you. Let's see here. Reggie White almost went to the Niners instead of Green. Yeah, I know. John in the house. What's up, John? Welcome.
Hey, John.
Now that we have John's, I always say this about John.
Here comes the money.
John's always in the money. John has his own podcast. Go and check him out. He just started his podcast. Make sure to support him. John, put in the name of your podcast so people can go and sign up for your podcast, subscribe to you, my friend, and join you. All right, 49er minded. See, 49er minded told me 4 times he'll be right back, according to my list here. Yeah, I know he only wrote it
like
once.
A half hour ago.
Oh shit, he's already back. He went to the store, got himself something to eat, washed his car, dried it, and I'm like, hey, he's leaving. Let's see here. Roger Craig was the first, 1,000 rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. Can you name the other 2, McNiner, without looking at Google? What were the other 2 that accomplished the same thing? One of them is playing on our team now.
McCaffrey.
And the other one played for the Rams. Ugh. That should help you out. That should help you. All right, let me catch up here.
Ryan
East
says
Coast,
Marshall Faulk.
That's right. That's the guy that played for the Rams. That is right. Marshall Faulk was the second. And then somebody had to
Rams
argue
and
with...
Colts he played for.
Well, he was drafted by the Colts, and then played for the Rams. But I believe he got that while he was with the Rams. Real quick, somebody was arguing with me, Jess, that it was Roger Craig. He's putting these guys in order. Roger Craig, Christian McCaffrey, and Marshall Faulk. Argue with me. And I'm like, look at the dates these guys played and tell me how in the world can Christian McCaffrey get it second after Marshall Faulk already had retired? I'm like, and he was arguing, no, it was Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, he's a Panthers fan. He's like, I go, are you just saying this because you're a Panther? He goes, no, it was Roger Craig, Christian McCaffrey, and then Marshall Faulk. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to argue with the moron. Go ahead and go look, type Google, it'll tell you. But it's funny, Eric. What's up, Eric? That's the one that backs me up all the time.
I have a question for you. I know we're approaching the end of the show.
Yeah,
but
thank you. Help me. I'm drowning over here with these comments. I can't.
I would like your answer.
Good. Help me out here.
Okay. Are Eric Armstead and Juice needed on this team?
Oh, that's a good question. All right, let's put it in context. When you say needed, period,
like
right now, in the future, going forward.
Well, yeah, like right now, going forward.
Well, I did say this, and I'll speak about Eric Armstead, and I have his jersey. I think Armstead is the unsung hero who does a lot of the work and goes unnoticed. He goes unnoticed, but when he doesn't do his job, everybody knows, that he doesn't do it. But
what do you mean? What do you mean by that? When he doesn't do his job,
he takes a double. He's always taking on two or guys. He's always being double teamed. He's stopping the run. He doesn't necessarily. He's that kind of guy. He's like the Justin Smith and what was his name? The other guy that was next to him. I can't think of his name. Aldon Smith. You know how Aldon Smith was able to get to the quarterback more? It was because of all the hard work that Justin Smith was doing. Armstead kind of does the same, but he's more for the run. So he opens up the lanes for the linebackers. He makes the linebacker's job much easier for Patrick Willis, Greenlaw. But he's that unsung hero. It's because he doesn't get to the quarterback. Now, he is getting paid quite a bit amount of money, so you should get to the quarterback. But he does other things that once he's gone, we're going to realize he's gone. But with that said, I talking to my friend, and we had discussed, and a question that I brought up was, if the rest of the year, Chase plays very well, plays very well, dominant, double sacks, or it's just destructive like Bosa. And we can tell the change from the point of Chase getting here by the end of the year than before he was here. Do we keep him? And I know you have a lot of money already invested in that defensive line. So my question to him was, would you be willing to let go of Eric Armstead to keep? And we mentioned other players, but I'll just use Eric Armstead for tonight and keep Chase. Because to me, you can replace not just Eric Armstead, but you can replace a good tackle anytime over a good defensive end. You can just put a big fat tackle in there and it can just clog the middle. Like the kid, what was that big guy's name from the Patriots? Wilford, a big boy like that. He doesn't have to be great, but he can just sit there and smother you, and you can get away with it. But it's hard to come by really good defensive ends. So I said yes. I said now there's other people you have to get rid of offensively. I'm not going to mention to add that, but I would get rid of Eric Armstead. So is it needed? No. It's a nice thing to have. A perfect example. Some people can have the same type of car, same model, same year. One has it fully loaded. One doesn't, has a standard. Both cars can drive to the same location. Both cars can run as good as the other car, but one has other features like seat warmers, coolant, where if it's cold, you can warm your ass. If it's hot, you can cool your ass. Air conditioning in the seater. Is it needed? No. Is it nice to have? Definitely, right? So I think Armstead is kind of a luxury in a car, an extra item in a nice car already. But do you need them? No, it's nice to have. But if you're gonna tell me that if I have to give up my seat warmer to have some nice wheels on the outside of my car, I probably would do it. And that's Chase. So do we need Eric Armstead? No, but it's nice to have. Now with Juice, I think he was brought in honestly because we took over a team that was terrible in 2017. Kyle comes from the old school of having a fullback. At the time, he was the best fullback coming from the Ravens, so we had to overpay. If Juice is willing to take a pay cut to stay with the Niners, then I would love to keep. He's another luxury to have. He goes unnoticed because of all the blocking he does, the way he opens up the run. But he is more replaceable to me than Eric Armstead if I had to choose. So if I had to pick, I would let go of Juice first. But if they both have to go, yes, they can be replaced. I think we already have someone there that can take his spot. But for the money that he's getting, Jess, no. It's too much money. Now, if somebody offers him more money somewhere else, hey, go and get your bag and make a career. But I think he has a good relationship with Kittle. I think Juice's wife is good friends with Kittle's wife. And it's not like, let's keep it 100%. It's not like Juice is hurting financially. He's not hurting. If he takes a pay cut, and now it doesn't have to be a huge one, but if it's a pay cut, I think he would do it and stay. I don't think Armstead would, though. So to answer your question, long-winded, yes, I think they're not needed, but they're a luxury to have. Now, see, that's how you answer a question. Ask me another one.
Nope,
Before we
that's
call it a
that's
night.
all I got. That was the main thing. That was the main one that I wanted.
So respond to Mike. What do you think
You to
based
answer.
on my answer? You agree, disagree? Okay, there's the channel for my boy John. Go check him out.
Yeah, I didn't know he had his own channel. I'm gonna have to subscribe. I think both are needed. I think Eric Armstead, with him, obviously not getting sacks and stuff, he still does a lot of stuff, other stuff. Juice, same thing. I mean, I've heard people say, "Oh, we don't need them; they don't do anything." So yeah, that's my take on that. I think they're both needed.
Yeah, and to answer Ryan's question, or not question, but comment, he says if Eric Armstead leaves, he will have a lot of dead cap. He will retire as a Niner. Now, next offseason, yes. But the following offseason, the Niners can get rid of him and not pay as much. They'll still have to pay, of course, but that won't pay as much. This offseason, if we get rid of him, it'll cost us more. We will be paying more to get rid of him than to keep him. And that never, ever makes sense. But he could be traded to another team if that's the case. I don't know. We'll see. But I hear you, Ryan. They like Armstead. They really, really, you can always tell when they like, because they're either restructuring their contract or they're messing with their contract. And teams only normally do that with players they like on and off the field. And whenever you hear a restructuring or whenever you hear about a bonus here or there, Eric Armstead and Kittle are two of the players you hear a lot of making those type of add-ons. So the Niners are very pleased with Armstead and very pleased with Kittle so far. McNiner
Hey,
says
John, I
Armstead and
just
Juice.
subscribed to your channel.
Now, Coletto was cut, McNiner. He's no longer on the team. So unless they brought him back, but that I don't know about, but it's going to be hard to replace Juice with Coletto when Coletto's not on the team. They cut his ass a long time ago. Armstead could be replaced by nose tackle. Now, Kalia Davis is still on the roster, but I find it odd that he hasn't even played. Do they need him? Probably. I guess because Hargrave is healthy and the one that backs him up, number 90, is doing good as well. I can see why Kalia hasn't played, so maybe that's why he hasn't been in there. So let's knock on wood that he doesn't play, because that means that Hargrave and number 90, which I can't think of his name right now, are playing and are healthy. So we'll keep it there. But that's a great question, Jess. I think that they're both luxuries, but I'd rather keep Chase if he continues to play well over Armstead. Now, let me ask you a question. And I'll ask the fans as we come to a close. We're past an hour. So this will be the last question. And we'll shut it down. Thank you for everybody for hanging out with us. Make sure to hit that like button. I got over 30 people watching, but only 22 likes. Let's hit that like button a little bit more. I would appreciate it. So, Jess, if Chase again continues to dominate, I'm talking about being a difference maker like Nick Bosa. Not just okay, but a difference maker the rest of the year. And is dominant. It's like having 1A and 1B in those two guys. And he's getting sacks. He's putting pressure. We're just feeding on the quarterback. Do you keep him? And I already mentioned Eric Armstead, but also allow Brandon and you to walk for Chase?
Why can't you keep both?
You could, but it's going to get mighty high. Now, the good point is that now a lot of people think that if Brock continues to play the way he's playing, that they'll extend his contract in 2 years. Remember, he was the last pick of the draft, so they only picked him up for 4 years. So it's not like they can pick up a fifth-year option. So his contract is coming sooner than later. So you got to remember that's going to come up, and that's going to interfere with the Brandon contract there. Now, the only thing I can think of is they signed Chase because he's only 24. That's a good point that McDonough puts. He's only 24. So we signed Chase to a lucrative contract, and maybe we tag Brandon Ayuk for another year. And either we can work his contract or we tag him, because it's much cheaper tagging a receiver than it is a defensive end. So I would tag. Now, some people say, well, what happens if we tag? Because I know people are not aware of this. We can tag Chase Young if we wanted to. Okay? But because we own his contract. But it's too much money to tag him. He's looking around the 40s to pay up for a 1 year rental. That's expensive. So you can either tag Brandon or let him go. He's great. I love Brandon, but you can always bring another receiver. It's hard to get. I want to stress out real quick. It is hard to get a good pass rusher. It is hard. Since D4 left, we've been struggling on the opposite side of Bosa for how many years? We've been substituting 4 or 3 guys, not because we had depth, but because we needed to accumulate pressure from one guy opposite of Bosa. Imagine having Bosa and Chase for years to come, both bringing it every freaking game. It's just crazy what offensive coordinators is going to have to face. That's unheard of. And then you would have Hargrave in there. At this point, you can probably put anybody in the opposite of Armstead. I'm not opposite, but in Armstead's place, and they'll do okay because you'll have 3 mean dudes: Hargrave, Chase, and Bosa. And maybe you resign Kinlaw at a very cheap contract because nobody's going to ask a lot for him. Maybe he can play there until he gets hurt or does something. We'll but I think we can move on from Armstead. He is going to be 30. Young is only 24. People can't lose sight of that. He's not like a guy that we brought in. He's 27, 28, kind of hitting, up there already in age. The kid is 24. He's a year younger than Bosa. You can have these two guys for years. Imagine having these two. Now, I would like to see it play out. I'm not putting the hitch before the horse, or the cattle before the, however you say it, the cart before the horse. I want to see it come to fruition. Now, we all got excited in one game. I want to see it consistent. I want to see it against the Bucks. I especially want to see it against the Eagles. and I want to see it
I want to
against
see
the
it against
Ravens
Seattle.
and Seattle. Yeah, if we see that, we're like, oh my God, we won this game because of these two guys, the Ohio boys. Then that is definitely something to think about. But with that, we're going to leave it on that note, and we'll cover a little bit more on our next Friday show. We passed an hour. We want to just appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out with us. You guys are amazing. I do apologize again for the comments. This kind of, I was not aware that this was going to happen until we started the show. So it kind of threw me for a loop, and I've been trying to backpedal ever since. But my good co-host Jess helped me out, and we made it through. But we made it through because of you guys. Thank you for being so supportive, so loving and caring, man. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to share the video. Me and Jess, we come live every Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 o'clock Central, and 8 o'clock Eastern each and every Friday, unless something comes up, and we'll keep you guys posted. Until next time, Jess, is there anything going on in your channel before we say goodnight to everyone that you want to share?
Well, it's Thanksgiving Eve on Wednesday, so join us, and we're gonna have a fun episode.
Oh,
East
okay.
Coast Red and Gold podcast. Like and subscribe.
On that note, since it's Thanksgiving Thursday, do you want to skip Friday so we can let them know now because it's the day after Thanksgiving, or no?
No.
Okay, so I know Christmas is going to be okay. All right. The boss has spoken. I'm just a little elf. Well, I don't know about little. That's kind of but whatever. But the big shut up. Don't make fun of me. With that said, I appreciate I appreciate every one of you. I appreciate my lovely co-host. She's amazing. I am so blessed to have her as my co-host. Jess, I love you, man. Thank you for being my co-host on the channel, on the Niners Now podcast. But thank everybody for watching and supporting the channel. Make sure to hit that like button, and we'll see you next Friday. Peace.
Thanks, everybody. Go Niners.
Go Niners.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,